It was supposed to be the story of unity, faith, and love. But behind the walls of America's most famous polygamous family, tragedy struck. As Meri Brown mourned the heartbreaking loss of a longtime friend, her family was unraveling in public view. What happens when grief collides with betrayal, when fame magnifies wounds, and when the man at the center, Kody Brown, blames his wives for backbiting while fans point the finger at him? Tonight, we trace the downfall of the Browns, from love to loss, to a twist that changes everything. Meri's grief, Kody's blame, a family torn apart.
We failed already. It was very, very painful.
Part 1. For years, America has watched Meri Brown, the first wife of Kody, struggle for love, recognition, and respect. She endured betrayal, isolation, and endless criticism, but nothing could prepare her for the devastating loss of a longtime friend, a confidant who was there through every storm. While the world focused on sister wives drama, Meri's personal grief remained painfully private. But this tragedy would mark the beginning of something unexpected, a new Meri embracing a path of self-improvement, empowerment, and independence. But while Meri heals, the family fractures even deeper. Behind Meri's personal struggles, the Brown family imploded. Kody Brown, once the self-styled patriarch of plural marriage, admitted that sister wives had become a stage for criticism and backbiting. Instead of unity, there was jealousy. Instead of trust, betrayal. Kody, this family is full of backstabbing, and I'm done with it. For Meri, already heartbroken, Kody's words were salt in the wound. She was fighting to heal, while the man she once loved accused the entire family of destroying itself. Could Meri's new journey threaten Kody's fragile control? But Meri refused to be defined by heartbreak. In the midst of loss, she found strength. Through therapy, journaling, and radical self-care, she began an emotional transformation. Her social media lit up with motivational quotes, empowering women across the country who saw themselves in her struggles. Fans told, "Meri, you inspire me. You show us that healing is possible." While Kody clung to control, Meri embraced freedom. But independence, for a Brown wife, always comes with a price. Her growth exposed the family's deepest wounds. As Meri grew stronger, the Brown family's fractures grew wider. Christine had already left. Janelle pulled away. And Robyn, once favored, was now isolated with Kody. The show's audience erupted with criticism, accusing Kody of hypocrisy, ego, and emotional neglect. Kody treats Meri like she's disposable. We see it. We won't forget it. The more Kody raged about backbiting, the more fans turned against him. They saw Meri's pain, Christine's courage, Janelle's independence, and they asked the question, was the problem really the wives, or Kody himself? Then came the twist no one expected. The twist? While Meri was healing, fans uncovered that Kody himself had been fueling the very toxicity he accused others of. Old interviews resurfaced, showing his dismissive treatment of Meri, his favoritism toward Robyn, his refusal to take accountability. Kody's the real backbiter. Meri deserves so much better. We're done with Kody. What was meant to expose Meri's weakness instead revealed Kody's, and the backlash was explosive. Fans flooded social media, demanding justice for Meri, praising her resilience, and condemning Kody's arrogance. So, what happens next for Meri? In the ashes of heartbreak, Meri Brown is no longer the woman left behind. She is the woman moving forward. Her friend's memory lives on in her healing journey. And while Kody remains trapped in the drama of a crumbling family, Meri rises, becoming a symbol of strength for women everywhere. Do you believe Meri deserves her own spin-off, her own story free from the shadow of sister wives? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Part 2. When Sister Wives first premiered, it was marketed as revolutionary, an inside look at modern polygamy. 4 wives, 1 husband, and 17 children living in what seemed like harmony. But as viewers leaned in, they saw the cracks forming early on. Meri Brown, once Kody's legal wife, struggled with feelings of isolation. Christine fought for recognition. Janelle wrestled with independence. And Robyn, the newest wife, became a lightning rod for jealousy and suspicion. It wasn't just about faith. It was about power, and power always comes at a cost. Meri Brown's journey became the most painful to watch. Once the cornerstone of the family, she gradually slipped into the margins. After her legal divorce from Kody, so he could marry Robyn for adoption purposes, Meri became an outsider in her own home. Her infamous catfishing scandal only deepened the cracks. Meri deserved better. She was thrown away like she didn't matter. Meri's pain wasn't just private. It played out under the bright glare of reality TV. And every time she tried to step forward, Kody's words cut deeper. Meanwhile, Kody's clashes were escalating into open warfare. Kody Brown, once the confident patriarch, began unraveling in front of millions. He clashed with Christine over loyalty, with Janelle over independence, and with Meri over trust. But it wasn't just disagreements. It was a battle for dominance. Kody, furious, "You're all backstabbing me." To fans, his words revealed the truth. The family wasn't united. It was fractured beyond repair. And then, the children spoke out. For years, the children were the silent witnesses to their parents' battles. But as they grew older, they started sharing their own truths. Many described feeling torn between parents, caught in a storm they never asked for. Some openly sided with their mothers. Others expressed deep anger at Kody's favoritism toward Robyn's kids. The kids are telling us what we already knew. Kody was never fair. The innocence of the family's original story, one of love and unity, was gone. In its place, broken trust, deep resentment, and children questioning whether the spotlight itself was worth the sacrifice. But then came the twist that changed everything. The twist? The very fame that brought the Browns financial stability also destroyed their family unity. TLC's cameras magnified every wound, every betrayal, every argument. The wives and children weren't just living polygamy. They were performing it. And Kody's insistence that the show was filled with backbiting and criticism only confirmed what fans suspected. It wasn't just the family. It was the fame itself tearing them apart. Kody ruined this family. Meri should leave for good. The kids deserve peace, not this circus. What began as a bold cultural experiment ended as a cautionary tale of how love, faith, and family can buckle under the weight of television fame. So where does this leave Meri and the family's legacy? Today, the Brown family is no longer the dream it once seemed. Christine has moved on. Janelle has embraced independence. Meri is carving her own path. And the children are finding their voices outside the shadow of polygamy. The lesson: fame cannot save a broken foundation, but it can expose the cracks for the world to see. Do you believe the Brown family was destroyed by polygamy, or by the fame that came with it? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. For Meri, the pain was deeply personal. She had just lost a lifelong friend, someone who had supported her through the storms of plural marriage. Fans saw her smile online, but behind that smile was a woman grieving. Yet, at the very same time, she chose to begin something new, a self-improvement journey, a bid to find strength where others saw weakness. According to TLC Confessionals, Meri admitted, "I can't live my life based on what Kody thinks anymore." Her grief became fuel for transformation. But as Meri rose, the Brown family crumbled further into chaos. Because even in loss, Meri's healing exposed the family's deepest fractures. The Brown family was once marketed as a revolution in reality TV, a vision of unity under one roof. But as years passed, cracks became fault lines. Christine left, citing years of neglect. Janelle leaned toward independence. Robyn became both Kody's favorite and the lightning rod for resentment. And Meri was left in emotional exile. When Kody divorced Meri in 2014 to legally marry Robyn, it marked a turning point not only for the family, but also for Meri's place within it. The cameras kept rolling, the arguments grew louder, and Kody's frustrations spilled over for the world to hear. Kody, Season 17. This family is just full of criticism and backbiting. But what Kody saw as betrayal, fans saw as truth-telling. While Kody raged against his wives, Meri turned inward. She embraced therapy, positive affirmations, and a quiet journey towards self-worth. Her Instagram became filled with motivational posts, sparking waves of support from women across the country. Meri, you inspire us all. Your strength after loss gives us hope. But Kody didn't see strength. He saw disloyalty. Every step Meri took forward seemed to widen the chasm between her and the man she once trusted. And just as Meri found her voice, the children began finding theirs. For years, the children of sister wives lived in the shadows of their parents' decisions. But as they grew older, their voices grew stronger. Many began calling out the favoritism toward Robyn's kids. Others openly sided with their mothers. For them, the show's promise of unity had always been an illusion. The kids are saying what we've always known: Kody's house was never equal. This generational split revealed the deepest wound of all. The family wasn't just divided by marriage, but by the very legacy they had built under the spotlight. And then came the twist no one could deny. The twist wasn't Christine leaving. It wasn't even Meri's heartbreak. The twist was this: the fame that promised security was the very thing that destroyed the Brown family. TLC's cameras magnified every argument, every tear, every betrayal. Kody accused his wives of backbiting, but fans accused him of gaslighting. And the backlash was brutal. Kody ruined this family with his ego. Meri deserves a spin-off of her own. The kids deserve better than this circus. What began as a bold cultural experiment ended as a cautionary tale of love, faith, and fame colliding in the harshest way possible. So what does this mean for Meri and the Brown legacy? For Meri, grief became growth. For Christine, betrayal became freedom. For Janelle, independence became strength. And for the children, silence became truth. The Browns will forever be remembered not just for their marriages, but for the lessons of what happens when love, faith, and fame collide. Long before sister wives hit television screens, polygamy had always carried controversy in the United States. In 1890, the LDS Church officially renounced plural marriage under pressure from the federal government. Yet families like the Browns continued the tradition privately, citing deep religious conviction. When TLC launched Sister Wives in 2010, the Browns were among the first to bring polygamy into mainstream media. But with fame came scrutiny, and in 2011, the family faced a legal investigation in Utah for practicing bigamy. Though charges were never filed, the investigation cast a long shadow over the Browns' lives, forcing them to move from Utah to Nevada. From the start, the Browns weren't just fighting for love, they were fighting for legitimacy. Beyond the TV screen, the Sister Wives fandom became a powerful voice. On Reddit forums, Facebook groups, and YouTube channels, thousands of women shared their frustration, support, and heartbreak as they watched the Browns unravel. We all saw Meri suffer in silence. This wasn't marriage, it was exile. Christine leaving gave so many women the courage to walk away from toxic relationships. Kody's favoritism toward Robyn was the downfall of everything. These fan spaces became more than commentary. They became communities where women compared their own lives, marriages, and struggles. For many, the Brown story was personal. But if fans were divided, the Brown children were even more torn. While Meri and the other wives battled for emotional survival, the children quietly carried the weight of fame. Hunter Brown once admitted he felt the family's public life put pressure on the kids to act perfect. Paydon, Christine's son, openly criticized his father, saying favoritism had destroyed trust. Even McKelty and Aspen shared how exhausting it was to balance their own lives with the drama surrounding their parents. For the Brown children, the show was both a blessing and a burden. It gave them fame, but it also stole their privacy. And privacy, once lost, is impossible to reclaim. Christine's decision to leave was a bombshell moment not just for the Browns, but for fans of the show. After more than 25 years of marriage, she announced her split from Kody in 2021. In her words, "I need to make a choice for happiness." Her departure wasn't just personal. It symbolized the unraveling of polygamy itself within the Brown household. For the first time, Sister Wives showed not unity, but divorce. Christine leaving was the beginning of the end. Looking back, one question remains. Was it polygamy that broke the Browns? Or was it fame? Polygamy brought jealousy, favoritism, and legal fear. But fame magnified every crack, every argument, every betrayal. TLC's cameras promised exposure and income, but they also trapped the Browns in a cycle of conflict for ratings. Sociologists call this the reality paradox. The very act of filming changes the story itself. For the Browns, that paradox may have destroyed them. And yet, even in destruction, Meri's story offers something more. Do you believe Meri deserves her own story beyond sister wives? Was it polygamy or fame that destroyed this family? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dive Sister Wives documentaries, and hit the notification bell because the Brown family story is far from over.